What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Breaking News. The SBA denies middle income the $10,000 targeted Eidl advance. It is Friday, TGIF, May the 28th, 2021. Please do me a huge favor, give this video a thumbs up, hashtag EIDL with your comments below. Once again, please follow me on Twitter at TrySmallBiz, username SmallBizInc, which will launch in the month of June, and I'm going to do everything I can to help grow your small biz. All right, ladies and gentlemen, breaking here in the last 90 minutes or so, I'm going to pin a video that our friend Speak and See just released. It's a clip from Miss ISABEL GUZMAN in another hearing where she clarifies exactly the changes that are coming in June. And if you're in a middle or high income community person like myself, guess what? Bend right over, because it's coming right in the you-know-where. You are being denied, once again, the $10,000 that you were promised in the CARES Act. So ladies and gentlemen, pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee, ice cold beer, bottle of champagne, whiskey on a big rock, all of it together. How about let's just line them all up and just down them all. No drinking or driving, of course. Here we go. Said the same thing yesterday. I'm supposed to be on vacation, but I can't allow some of these things to go by. So look, let me start with some good news. I know these kind of videos, you don't want to hear me bringing bad news. You don't want to hear the fact that they're going to fuck you over again, and again with respect to middle and high income community. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It has to happen. It has to happen. There has to be 5 million people right now that are pissed off going into the month of June, because they're going to open up this new portal in June to people that didn't apply until prior to the December 27 cutoff. So if you're brand new to the channel and you somehow didn't apply for any Eidl help whatsoever in 2020 from March all the way to December, congratulations. If you're in a low-income community and you suffered a 30% economic loss, you are in fact going to have a chance at 10 plus 5,000 on the supplemental in the month of June. But if you're like, I want to say 80 to 90% of my channel, and you've been following and listening to my bullshit for the last 14 months as I fight like hell to get you 10 grand, regardless of size, location, or credit score, $2 million caps, 24 months of capital, I want the fucking loan forgiven so you never pay the SBA a dime, you know that this is a shit show. It's 2 steps forward, it's 1 step back. It's like, we think we're finally going to get some help, but no, it's Lucy and the football, and there goes Charlie. Where is Charlie? Here's Charlie. Some of you are a fan of Charlie. This is Charlie Brown. I've got a fascination with Charlie Brown. I can relate. If there's any Charlie Brown fans out there, you know exactly when it comes, right? He's running down the field, and Lucy's got the ball, right? Come on, Charlie, hit it. And then she yanks it. Ah! That's what it's like dealing with the SBA. No shit, right? We got to have a little bit of levity. I love Charlie Brown. I watched the Christmas and the Thanksgiving and the Halloween specials. I mean, the poor guy. I can relate. This is what it's like dealing with the SBA, right? They're always yanking the fucking football out when we think we're finally going to be able to kick it through the uprights and score, the extra point, the field goal to win the game. But as I just said, this has to happen. There needs to be millions of people that are lighting up the senators, congressmen, and women, and the SBA. And I'm not done, folks. I'm going to enjoy a couple of days off over the holiday. I have to. I have to rest, recharge, maybe even get shit-faced tonight or tomorrow because I've earned it. But then I'm going to come back in June, when we launch this business and we get totally verified with all our social media and our ad campaigns. And then I'm going to start flexing big time with respect to the SBA. And if I have to be the one that's going to sue them, I'm going to sue them. But here's the problem with respect to the lawsuits. And then I'll share some very good news with respect to how fast they're going. They just tripled the pace of the targeted Eidl payouts and had another huge jump in the supplemental. More on that in a second. The problem that we're going to have is the SBA is following the letter of the law. If you notice Stephen Miller, he's suing the entire Biden administration. We may have to sue the federal government, and the chances of little old us winning are probably none. But the PR example that we may have to set could be necessary in order to get Washington to wake up. Because I guarantee, ladies and gentlemen, they have poll tested this 9 ways to Sunday. Somebody in Nancy Pelosi's caucus in September, and this is a fact, came up with the idea that, hey, let's pander to low-income communities. There was absolutely none of that in the CARES Act. And for whatever reason, despite controlling every branch of government right now, for upwards of 6 months, they refuse to take it out and put in a new law or pass S513. Jackie Rose, and I said this yesterday, I'll ask you again. You are the co-sponsor with John Cornyn. Neither one of you has said a fucking word since you reintroduced that bill almost 3 months ago. You yourself, Jackie, said most of small business is middle income. Most of Vegas and Dallas, Texas, where John Cornyn is middle income. Your own constituents are getting screwed in the rear end. Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? They've poll tested it. They have figured out that this class warfare, or government-sponsored class warfare, as some are calling it, is worthwhile. Because as one example, the black vote has been with the Democrat Party at 92% since the 1950s. Do you think they're going to hold Biden and or, in my own state here, Warnock and Ossoff, both of which are Democrats? You think we're going to hold them responsible when we come to the polls next year? No. People may not turn out in such large numbers because they're deeply disappointed in their Democrat senators, congressmen, and women, but it doesn't mean they're going to go pull the lever for the other side of the fence, at least not in large numbers. That's what Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are commenting on. How in the fucking world could they turn their back on 5 million? In fact, if you see the clip that, again, was from Speak and See, we appreciate it, brother. She says that they emailed out over 10 million emails. Do you guys remember not too long ago when people were telling me, oh, you're making up that $9 million, or that 9 million number from James Rivera? Well, it turns out over 10 million people applied for the targeted Eidl advance, or the Eidl advance, I should say, from last year. Over 10 million. And she's trying to say that only 1.1 million of those qualify. And as of today's post, and I'll put this in the pinned comment, they've only paid out $1 billion, even though she said 1.5 billion in today's video. According to this, and this document was released last night, they've only paid out 1.065. They have $29 billion left after 4 months as of 2 days from now, June the 1st. There's no fucking way they're going to get through the money, even if they open it up to people that didn't apply before December the 27th. There can't be maybe, I don't know, $1 billion and a half. So then what? We're going to have $27 billion to do what with? Oh, I have an idea. How about pay middle income communities the $10,000 they were promised in the CARES Act? So look, folks, I'm going to have to think this over because they're in some respects following the letter of the law. The law says low income. It says 30% economic loss. So she is, for the most part, in this case with the targeted Eidl advance, not the case with the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. She's following the letter of the law. The lawsuits may have to go even bigger, like Stephen Miller, although some of you hate that. This video is probably going to get an enormous amount of thumbs down. Who really gives a fuck? I have to tell you guys the truth. They are pandering to low-income communities. This is not about getting those that are underserved the help they need. No. In fact, if you remember the SBA Lifeline grant, the $50,000 grant I mentioned in yesterday's video, if you read the text of the HEROES Act bill, it said there was $20 billion for low-income communities, and they shall go first. And then there was $20 billion for a total of $40 for everybody else, like many of you and me. That's the way it should be. I have no problem standing at the back of the line to let our great veterans, thank you for serving this country, women and minorities go first. I have no problem as a white man, but that's not what they're doing now. They're excluding all of that, and they're just pandering to low-income communities, women and or veterans in some cases, but that's where the house of cards is coming down. That's where all the lawsuits, the discrimination, the government-sponsored class warfare that's going to bring them to their knees. This has to happen, ladies and gentlemen, as much as it sucks ass. So before I let you go, there is some good news, and I'll pin this in the top. They have funded 128,299 people. That's up from 109,000. So they've tripled the pace in the last week. I wonder why that is, with respect to the payout of the $10,000 targeted Eidl advance. As I predicted, if you remember in about a week and a half ago, I said the supplemental was going to catch up to around 65 or 70,000. Well, it's now 69,529, up from 49,000. There's now, in my opinion, going to be a constant gap because not everybody suffered a 50% economic loss. Many between 30 and 49%. So look, is the SBA going faster with the payouts? Hell yes. Have they only paid out, however, $1 billion of the $30 billion? Yes. They sent out 10 million emails and they claim they only got 1.1 million that even applied. That's a fucking lie, and we all know it. And they admit to declining 600,000. It's way more than that, and we all know it. So if there is a sliver of hope here, if you're in a low-income community, even if you haven't gotten paid yet, they're going a hell of a lot faster. 3 times faster than they have been over the last 4 months. So maybe, just maybe, within 30 days or thereabouts, they'll get through 400,000 or 500,000. Then they're going to open up the portal to all those that are new. And we have to be somewhat receptive to that idea, to the folks that need help. But again, I ain't having this, folks. I didn't intend to do a video, so I'm a little rattled at the moment as to why I even have to continue this warfare for the last 14 months. But as I said before, I ain't going anywhere. In fact, this is going to juice my ass up. This is going to give me the strength, the fortitude, the conviction I need to go scorched earth times fucking 10. And if I have to personally sue these motherfuckers myself, I will. It will not guarantee we're going to win. It'll be appealed and delayed for 12 to 18 months. But I am dead fucking determined to let everybody know that what they are doing to our great veterans that are in middle income communities, our single moms and dads, our minorities, our blacks and browns right down the street from me in Atlanta that have worked hard to get themselves out of low into middle income, and they're still getting a big fuck you. Well, I ain't having that. So until next time, always remember that I do love you, and thanks for watching.